You can have your specific person, as they always come back. No matter what the current circumstances are, whether you are in no contact with them or they are not giving you any commitment, they always change. It happened with a woman whose life changed completely. She went from sleepless, heartbroken nights to a loving relationship with her specific person. It worked for them, and it can work out for you too. Recently, I was reading a success story, and this particular story intrigued me as it included almost all the ingredients that are necessary to manifest a specific person. I can't stop myself from sharing it. I don't know their real name, but shout out to the one who wrote it. I am rewriting it from the first-person perspective, in short, and I will be providing my insights on it. It will definitely help you with the manifesting journey of your specific person. So, it started with a new year where I had a friend, not a close friend but an acquaintance. This friend is my specific person. He wished me a happy new year, and we started to talk. From that point on, our bond started getting stronger, and we started getting closer. For me, he was just a friend, and I didn't have feelings for him. He reflected the same back at me. Back then, I didn't know about Neville Goddard's teaching. But, unknowingly, I started assuming that he had a crush on me and that he wanted to ask me out. After some time, he reflected it back to me by being flirty, and he asked me out too. Then we started dating. He checked all my boxes, and our relationship was perfect. He was everything that I imagined. But then my insecurities started banging on the door of my mind. If he didn't text me fast or if he canceled the plan to meet, I would assume that he no longer loves me and is losing interest in me. I didn't know about the law. I didn't know how everyone as you pushed out works. So he began reflecting all of that back to me. Our conversations turned into arguments, and our relationship became worse. I would imagine all the negative scenarios, and we would argue over stupid stuff. All my negative assumptions became a reality, and almost 2 weeks before our first anniversary, he broke up with me. It was devastating. I was heartbroken, and I cried and begged, but he was acting very coldly towards me and asked me to move on. He said he doesn't love me and no longer wants to be with me. In the first 2 weeks of our breakup, he texted me to check on me, but I was desperate, and I begged him, but he was stuck on his decision. Then, I went into no contact, and we unfollowed each other on social media. It really hurt, and I wanted him back. So, I came across these teachings. I was desperate, and I was trying to manifest him out of my desperation. I wasted 1 month doing this, but nothing happened. Then I randomly decided to read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and after that, I discovered Neville Goddard. His teachings and ideas clicked something in me, and somewhere within me, I knew this would work. I read about him, read his lectures, and watched many success stories. Then I figured out many things and applied them to my life. After discovering Neville Goddard, it took me almost 22 days to make it happen. Out of nowhere, he called me, and we talked for 4 hours. He was constantly flirting with me and was loving towards me. He even brought up all our past memories, and he told me he wanted to talk to me every day. He even invited me to his place to watch a movie. I was shocked because the guy who told me to move on was now into me. After a week, we met, and he confessed his feelings for me. He assured me that I am the one and he wants no one else. I manifested him back. Sounds interesting, right? She did it. She manifested her ex. Like her, many people successfully manifest their partners. You can manifest your partner too. You might feel motivated and want to know what she did. So, here it is. The first and foremost thing that she did was to get rid of the old story. I have told you many times to get rid of the old story. The old story will never benefit you. Staying in the victim state and telling your friends how your breakup happened or what your ex did to you will make the situation worse. You have to completely discard your old story and get out of the victim state. You manifest everything in your life. Even the breakup was manifested by you. If you don't take full responsibility for the breakup, then manifesting a specific person would not be possible. You cannot say that I am the creator of my destiny, but my ex did a bad thing to me. Realize that your thoughts, your story, and your old patterns manifested the breakup, as was the case in our success story. If you can do that, then you can definitely manifest your specific person as well. Your old story no longer serves you. It doesn't matter what it was. You probably told your friends about it. They are humble, they will listen, but this story won't even matter to them. They will forget it. Replaying the old, hurtful memories over and over again will never serve you. The next time you catch yourself playing those hurtful memories, just remind yourself that that's not who I am. This is not true for me. The past doesn't serve me. It is all about focus. Whatever you focus on grows, and your focus should always be on your new story. Your imagination should always be surrounded by beautiful scenes where your specific person wants you deeply. Don't ever play the hurtful memories in your mind. Always play the new story. And your SP will always come back into your life. Another thing that the women did was to follow a mental diet. I have discussed this too in my videos. Following a mental diet is a game changer. It can be difficult for the first few days, but it will become easier with time. You will have moments where negative thoughts will spiral around you, and you will even cry. It is okay. It is normal to feel emotions. After all, you are a god in a human body. You are not some sort of artificial machine that was made out of bolts and screws. So, it's okay to have moments where you cry, but never get stuck in a negative state. Just feel those emotions, take a few deep breaths, and say to yourself that you are the creator of your reality. Have a wonderful inner conversation with your specific person. Instead of going into a negative state for the next few hours or even days, move your attention towards the new thoughts and stick to your mental diet. You always have to think from your desires instead of your desires. It is pretty easy to identify when you are thinking of your desires. Whenever you find yourself thinking about how your specific person will come to you and when they will come to you, then you are thinking of your desire. But if you are thinking about how wonderful you feel that your specific person is with you or how wonderfully they treat you and act around you, then you are thinking from your desire. If you are feeling desperate or needy, then you are in a state where you don't have your specific person. It is that simple. You just have to change your dominant thoughts, and they can be changed by repetition and thinking from the end state of being. It is very normal to have negative thoughts, but entertaining them and persisting in them is entirely up to you. Your logical mind will always tell you that they are not here yet or that nothing is happening, which will create all sorts of doubts. But remember, manifestation is illogical and beyond your logical understanding. Your imaginal scenes imprint on your subconscious mind and are later manifested in your reality. Persist in those imaginal acts and your assumption until they hardens into fact. Affirmation is another practice that made this success story possible. She chose the affirmations that were personal to her. She chose affirmations that she felt were right. Affirmations or imaginal acts are just impressing your subconscious mind, and by repetition, it becomes possible to impress your subconscious mind. She didn't affirm mindlessly, but she felt her affirmations. In the beginning, she didn't believe her affirmations, but they unfolded naturally. From this story, I figured out that the most important thing that one needs to learn is to kill the old story. It is about disregarding the old story completely and replacing it with the new one. It is about feeding the new man. It is about persisting in the new stories. Mental diet, affirmations, and visualizations are just ways to create a new story. These are the ways to get conscious of the new state of being. These are the ways to focus on the new story. Your new state of being, or the new story, manifests in your relationships. While the woman was in the process of manifesting her specific person didn't text her or call her. She felt like there was no movement. But, as she was determined and kept on persisting in her visual scenes and affirmations, by constantly telling her that this was not her reality, she knew that a specific person loved her deeply and constantly thought about her. She started believing and started thinking from her desire. She accepted her imagination and consciousness as the only reality, and it all paid off. The 3D shifted, and her SP came back to her. There is always movement behind the scenes. Things are changing much more rapidly than you think. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that there is no movement. Your affirmations and visual scenes are reaching your specific person. They are always changing. Even Neville Goddard said, even if millions of people have to move for you to get your desire, they will move. Your imagination is God, and it manifests in your physical reality. Now the choice is yours. Do you want to look at 3D and accept it as true, or do you want to imagine a beautiful relationship with your specific person? As reality always reflects your inner world externally. If it feels hard for you to believe your affirmations, then this next video will show you that your specific person is madly in love with you. Just click on the first video that comes up at the end of the screen. Happy manifesting!